Glory Superfight Series is back in Europe as we say Guten Abend to Oberhausen, Germany. 10 of the world's best kickboxers bring you a one-night, 5-fight riot in the Rhineland with a night of epic action. The women take center stage as the inaugural Grand Prix Super Bantamweight Tournament heads into the semifinals at breakneck speed. It's Van Soos versus Gladstone, Verbeek against Debbie. Plus, welterweight whirlwind Haruk Grigorian arrives with a flurry of fists and feet. And the light heavyweights will settle a dispute in Deutschland as Michael Duke seeks revenge on fan favorite Daniel Lunga. It's Glory Superfight Series Germany, and it starts now. Welcome to Oberhausen, Germany, a mere 2 hours east of Amsterdam, as Glory ends an incredible year in front of a sold-out crowd at the Koing Pilsner Arena for Glory Superfight Series Germany. We open up tonight's Superfight Series with blistering lightweight action with Andre Brule of Russia against Tijani Betstati of the Netherlands. Then it's time for the women as we go into the semifinal stage of the women's inaugural Grand Prix Super Bantamweight Tournament. In the first semifinal, number 1 ranked American pocket rocket Tiffany Van Soos continues her quest to be crowned the first division champion as she faces the surprising underdog and 9th ranked Jessica Gladstone of Canada. It's a North American affair with one woman advancing to the finals. In the second semifinal, number 2 ranked and undefeated Amel Debbie of France takes on 3rd ranked Isis Verbeek of the Netherlands. It's a battle of Europe to see who advances to the tournament final. As for the final itself, it takes place later tonight when the first ever Glory Women's Champion will be crowned as part of the All-Star Glory Collision. Then to the welterweight division, where do-or-die Haruk Grigorian will try to unleash hell on newcomer Daniel Solaha. Grigorian has no reverse gear, and his brutal style makes him a fierce test for Solaha, who's making his Glory debut. And in light heavyweight action, flamboyant hometown hero Daniel Lunga of Germany enters the ring for a rematch against the angriest man in all of kickboxing, Michael Duke of the Netherlands. After a storm of trash talk, Lunga defeated Duke at Glory 11 and damaged the Dutchman's arm in the process. There's been nothing but bad blood ever since, and tonight the score will be settled. It's Glory Superfight Series Germany.
We are live in Oberhausen, Germany at the sold-out Koing Pilsner Arena. Nearly 13,000 kickboxing fans here tonight getting set for one of the biggest fights in the history of the sport. Rico versus Bader. That comes up later tonight. Glory Collision on pay-per-view, but right now we welcome you to the Glory Superfight Series, also known as the Glory Collision Prelims, live on UFC Fight Pass. My name is Todd Grisham. To my left, the former welterweight champion of the world, Joseph Valtellini. And before we talk about our prelim card, let's focus on the main event, Rico versus Bader. Both men have a ton of experience, and I'm being told Rico has just walked into the arena right now. Bader did it just moments ago. There is Rico Verhoeven. And Joe, Rico has a ton of experience, but he's never fought someone quite like the bad boy.
Yeah, let me tell you, Bader Hari is a very tough opponent, and he's been known for his K1 days, and this is why this fight is very important, and it's looked at as that new school versus old school, where Rico's done a great job at dominating the heavyweight kickboxing scene in the Glory division, where Bader Hari was a little bit more dominant before in the K1 divisions.
Rico has several victories. He's won 11 straight as the or has won 11 straight. He is the Glory World Heavyweight Champion, but Badr Hari, as you can see, 106 victories and nearly a 90% knockout percentage.
And that's the way Badr Hari fights, and you can never count him out of any fight because he has that explosive knockout power, and a 90% knockout ratio is a very scary percentage.
You saw Rico Verhoeven just moments ago. He walked into the arena. Badr Hari came into the arena about 10 minutes before that, ran the ropes a little bit, came up to my broadcast partner, said, hey, I hear you picked Rico to win. We'll see what happens later tonight, and we will indeed see. That comes to you later on Glory Collision pay-per-view. Make sure you order it now. As for this, the prelims, we have a women's semifinal, or the two semifinals of the women's super bantamweight tournament. Tiffany Van Soos, one of the featured attractions. She's the favorite, and she is ready to rock tonight in Oberhausen.
It doesn't really matter to me if I'm the favorite or the underdog. I mean, obviously being the underdog, no pressure, but going into the fight, you know, once you're in the ring, the fight's the fight. It doesn't matter if you're the favorite or the underdog. It's happening, it's now, it's there, and you just got to do what you got to do. So it doesn't matter if I'm the favorite or not.
So that was Tiffany Van Soos. She'll compete in one of these semifinals against Jessica Gladstone. For more on the tournament, we send it backstage to Whitney Miller. Hey, Whitney.
Thanks, Todd. I am backstage and I'm with Tiffany Van Soos as she prepares to take on Jessica Gladstone. This is going to make history. This is the first female super bantamweight championship, and I'm very excited about this. Our first fight is obviously Tiffany versus Jessica, and from there we have Emil Debbie versus Isis Verbeek. Get ready for some fireworks. It is going down tonight. I'm going to send it back to you, Ron.
Hey guys, of course, the entire kickboxing world is counting down the seconds to Badr versus Rico. But tonight, we have a couple of former Glory prospects who have a lot on the line here in the Superfight series. Beginning with Harut Grigorian, who suffered his first loss just back in March. It was his first loss in 3 years to Yohan Kongolo. That loss dropped him down to number 6 in the welterweight rankings. He cannot afford to lose again tonight. And then there's Daniel Olunga, who returns to Glory after a year away. Now, he was always ranked in the top echelon of the light heavyweight division, but he's hit a rough patch. He's lost his last 3 in the Glory promotion. Those are just a couple of fighters to keep an eye on during the Glory Superfight series.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Glory Sports International, the world's premier kickboxing organization, follows the mighty Rhine River to the city of Oberhausen for the Glory Superfight Series. Tonight, featuring the semifinals in the first ever Women's Bantamweight Grand Prix Tournament. All of our bouts tonight sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association. Davut Sidal is with us ringside. You're looking live inside a sold-out König Pilsner Arena in Oberhausen, Germany. Are you ready for glory? We begin in the lightweight division. A much talked about young kickboxing prospect steps into the Glory spotlight for the first time. Here comes Tejani Bestati.
You are looking at the youngest ever signee of Glory Kickboxing, Tejani Bestati. Turned pro at the age of 17. He is now just 19, Joe. What is it about this kid that Glory likes so much?
I was just speaking to his coach, Danny DeVries, about it earlier this morning, and he just said this kid's a sponge. He keeps learning everything, and he came in with one style, and now working with Coliseum, he's able to fight at longer ranges and kind of see the fight from more of a bigger perspective.
This German kickboxing star made his debut at Glory 8 Tokyo. He is Andre Brule.
Life's good, life's bad. It's like that. Sometimes rise, sometimes fall. But we never lose it all.
Andre Brule turning 30 years old today. It's his birthday, and you know he'd love to pick up a win right here in his home country. He's fought once in Glory. He was victorious. What did you see from the German in that bout?
In his fight, I saw that he's a very good forward pressure fighter, and you're definitely going to see him favoring his boxing. He's got some very quick hands, a solid right hand, and some good head movement on the outside.
The big factor, at least on the tail of the tape, as you'll see momentarily, will be the height difference. Bestati 6'3", Brule just 5'7". And here is the tail of the tape. How much do you think that height difference will play a role in this fight?
Well, if Bestati really knows how to use that range, it's going to be very hard for Brule to come in. So you're going to look for Tajani to really use his long and straight punches and his movements to kind of set up those things that he's known for, like those big left knees that he's knocked out many opponents with.
Obviously a big experience difference as well. Bestati, 11 professional fights. As for Brule, he's fought 86 times. Here are the Glory rules. 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. These guys come out firing. Punches, kicks, and knees are legal. No elbows, however. 3 knockdowns in a round, 4 in the fight, and it is over.
Well, tonight in Oberhausen, 5 judges will score each round with a 10-point must system based on the following criteria, starting with knockdowns. If there's no knockdowns, the fighter who inflicted the most damage will win the round, followed by clean scoring strikes with an emphasis on spectacular strikes. If there's no clear advantage, judges will look at aggressiveness.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Glory lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. He is the youngest on the Glory roster at just 19 years old. His young professional career, 10 wins with just 1 loss. 4 of those wins coming by knockout. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, 1.90 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at an even 149 pounds, 67.6 kilos. Fighting out of Morocco by way of the Netherlands, here is Tajani Bestati. His opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, trained as a boxer and kickboxer. His professional record, 76 wins with just 8 losses, 2 bouts scored even with 17 career knockouts. At 5 feet 7 inches tall, 1.70 meters, he weighed in at 150 and 1/2 pounds, 68.4 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Germany, here is Andre the Tiger Brule. The third man inside the Glory ropes, your referee is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you want.
Looks like Andre Brule is looking up a pharmacist. Almost a foot taller, it seems. The Tiger has his work cut out for him. Will be facing Bestati, who is of Moroccan heritage, says his fighting hero, none other than Badr Hari, who we'll see later tonight, Glory Collision, in the main event. Imagine what he's feeling right now, fighting on the same card as Badr Hari.
Oh, that's huge for him. They're both Dutch-Moroccan, both started very young, at a very young age. I think Badr was actually 19 when he made some noise in the K1 rankings. So it's going to be a lot of pressure for Bestati to do some good damage here.
This is Bestati's Glory television debut. He did fight earlier on a Glory card, won by a decision, so he has some experience at this level. And how about those knees?
Yeah, that's what long fighters need to do, kind of stay outside. As Brule really tries to come in and pressure fight, Bestati really needs to use those knees.
They look like they're in about 3 different weight classes from each other. But no, they are indeed both in the same weight class, lightweight.
Well, you're going to have to see Brule try to get on the inside, and in order to do that, he really needs to push the pressure and keep Bestati against the ropes. Try to use his head movement to get on the inside and look to attack the body and add low kicks.
If you're wondering perhaps why Bestati got a little bit more of a reaction from the crowd while we are in Germany, and Brule is German, we're right near the Netherlands border, so several thousand fans from Holland came here to Oberhausen. Perhaps there are more Dutch fans in this arena than German fans. You can see the redness on the left side of Brule's face already.
Yeah, Bestati's doing a good job at managing range and distance, and being a tall fighter and knowing how to use it is very dangerous, and he's going to work with those right low kicks. Way he's setting up those low kicks is using his hands, and that's your traditional Dutch style that he's using there, using hands to low kick combinations.
Bestati's punches look almost like whips. So long.
But the problem is Brule's not coming forward. He's letting Bestati kind of set up his range and his combinations. He needs to counter back with something.
Needs to get inside. Brule's maybe landed 2, perhaps 3 strikes compared to Bestati, who's landed a couple dozen.
The way Bestati uses that reach and kicks on the outside, and he moves out right away. He doesn't ever...
Oh, big knee!
Doesn't give Brule that chance to get inside.
And another flying knee there from Bestati sends Brule to the canvas.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That is the end of round 1, and what a round it was. Near perfection for the young Moroccan.
Yeah, when I was really studying this guy before his fight, Tajani had so many good knockouts with that flying switch left knee, and he showed one against Melvin Wassing in April 2016, and another one against Muharreb in December 2015. So he's known for that switch left knee, and against a short pressure fighter, that was a perfect shot to throw in. Talking to his coach, he said he's teaching him to control that knee, and everyone knows he's good at that knee, but how can we hide it and use it as a surprise? And whatever they've been working on definitely worked today.
And there is the middleweight champion of the world, Jason Wilness, in the background in the corner of Bestati. Not much the coach can tell him right now. Everything has gone so well so far. Bestati told us that kickboxing isn't a hobby, it's his job, and if he doesn't fight, he doesn't eat. That's his mentality, and right now looks like he'll be eating pretty good tonight.
Yeah, he comes from an amazing camp at Coliseum Gym, and those guys have the top guys training there, and the Wilness brothers, and a lot of top Dutch fighters come there to do their sparring, so Bestati's getting some good quality sparring.
And Brule finally trying to push the pace a little bit, get inside.
But in order to hit the head, he has to hit the body first. Brule needs to kind of focus on using his straight to the body and then mixing his left hook to the head.
Brule has 76 professional victories, but only 17 by knockout. And look at the total strike differential, Joe.
Yeah, Bestati just keeps dictating the pace, and it's his combinations that keep doing a lot of damage. Doesn't look like Brule's blocking any of those kicks either, and he's focusing all on his hands. Against a tall fighter, counter back with those low kicks. Try to chop those legs down.
I want to welcome those of you watching on UFC Fight Pass. A free view here for the Glory Collision prelims. This is our first bout, and Bestati has taken it right to Andre Brule from the opening bell.
Landed a good front kick there. What makes a good fighter to an exceptional fighter is exceptional fighters know how to finish. And being 19 years old, and let's see if he has that finish power in him.
He has thrown a lot of punches and kicks, has expended a lot of energy, has Tijani Bestati. Perhaps Brule could make a run in the third round or late here in the second. But when you're 19 years old, generally speaking, you got energy for days.
There's Brule trying to control the center of the ring, but he's letting Bestati move away. He's got to use low kicks or kind of pressure him into those corners.
The output is certainly slowing down for Bestati. Can Brule take advantage? 30 seconds to go in round two.
There's those combinations. It's beautiful to watch. Dutch kickboxing at its finest. Punch to low kicks.
That's the end of round two. Let's take a look and listen to the Glory rules.
Glory Kickboxing is the most action-packed fight sport on the planet. Legal strikes are punches, kicks, and knees. Regular bouts are 3 rounds. Championship bouts are 5, and each round is 3 minutes of action. Outfight your opponent for 10-9. Knock them down for 10-8. In a normal bout or tournament final, 3 knockdowns in 1 round or 4 in the entire bout, and the fight is over by TKO. In a tournament semi, 2 knockdowns in 1 round or 3 in the entire bout, and it's all over. Or you can just knock your opponent out. Sweeps, elbows, and grappling are not allowed. Clinching is okay if you follow up with a knee. Glory rules are designed to bring non-stop, fast-paced stand-up action. To find out more, go to glorykickboxing.com.
Pretty simple sport to understand if you're watching it for the first time. The key, 3 3-minute rounds. You don't have time to waste. And right now, Andre Brule, after being knocked down in round 1, needs perhaps a knockdown of his own or a knockout here in round 3.
Yeah, he waited a little too long. He had a better second round, but just not enough. So let's see how much pressure he can put on. And he's only thrown maybe 2 leg kicks, but when he's throwing them, they're doing a good job. So let's see some kicks after his punches.
Nice counter left there from Brule. Backs Bestati up for perhaps the first time in this fight.
Bestati's focusing on that uppercut as Brule comes in.
Outside low kick from both men. And I would assume if you're Bestati's corner, you just say keep Brule at a distance and let's coast home.
Yeah, he needs to just keep that distance. Brule's not getting inside. So Bestati's got to keep distance, and if Brule's going to come in, he's going to have to eat an uppercut or a knee from Bestati.
Bestati continues to chop down with those outside low kicks. Total punches landed, somewhat close, but Bestati has thrown over or nearly 30 more. He's been more active, he's been more accurate, and he's certainly been more powerful.
And it's those leg kicks that are doing a lot of damage. He keeps mixing in that right low kick behind his punches.
Bestati, the tallest fighter in his division and the youngest.
No holding it.
He has a lot of hype surrounding him coming into this fight, and he's living up to it.
A head kick there, partially blocked by Brule.
Using some shoulder roll defense.
And Brule simply cannot reach Bestati.
No, but that's why he has to hit the body or the low kicks. He's focusing too much on the head.
This is the first fight on our Glory Collision prelim show. Still to come, both semi-final matches and our first ever women's super bantamweight tournament. Oh, and a right hand buckles the knees of Bestati. Brule needed a home run, and he might get it here. Another right hand. Bestati's in trouble.
He's got 20 seconds now. He's got to keep throwing that overhand right.
The inexperience shining through here for Bestati. He just needs to survive. 10 seconds to go.
Break! Fight!
Can Brule hit the home run? And it's over. Bestati survives. What a finish, Joe.
Yeah, that was what Brule needed to do a lot earlier in that fight. Keep that pressure, keep coming forward. But it was that big overhand right shot of Brule that rocked Bestati. Beautifully timed, and that put Brule on the offense. But Bestati showed he has a tough chin and stayed and survived the round.
The decision is next. Brule almost picking up his 18th knockout, but Bestati survives to live another day. The decision from our first bout on the Glory Superfight Series is next. How do I turn Bill down? All right, Bill, can you turn yourself down?
Order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision. Tonight, the countdown begins as Glory prepares for the most exciting night in its history. The two biggest names in kickboxing make their way to the ring. It's the fight everyone wanted, but nobody believed would happen. Rico Verhoeven, the undisputed heavyweight champion, faces his toughest challenge yet. Badr Hari is back. The king of kickboxing against the bad boy. Technique against sheer knockout power. And Glory Collision brings you even more action with the final of the women's inaugural bantamweight tournament. Gigantic heavyweight Jamal Ben Siddiq takes on powerhouse Ismail Lance, and legendary welterweight champion Nicky Holtzkin aims to continue his phenomenal winning streak with a title defense against Cedric Doumbé. Glory Collision, Rico versus Badr, and the biggest kickboxing event of all time. Tonight, order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision.
Welcome back. We take a look at the highlights, and it was all about Tijani Bestati for the first two and almost two-thirds of a round.
Yeah, he came in with that beautiful switch left knee knockdown in the first round. Continued to throw amazing Dutch-style combinations, punches to kicks, but it was that third round where Brule threw that vicious overhand right at the end of the third round, which made for an exciting end to that fight.
An overhand right, also known as a haymaker, straight out of Germany, but not quite enough to put Bestati down. And here is our impact timeline.
Yeah, it just shows the activity and the volume striking of Bestati, just constantly throwing. But look at that end of that third round where Brule was able to put together that big right hand and some punches to follow.
Thankfully for Bestati, this was not a 5-rounder, only 3. Let's send it in to Tim Hughes for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 5 of our ringside judges scored about the same, 29-27. A unanimous decision for your winner, Tijani Bestati.
Just as we predicted, I guess, Bestati with the victory, but it didn't come without a lot of worry from his corner there in the third round.
It was a good idea. It actually was a blessing for him to really show that, you know what, this is a very brutal sport with a lot of power, and he really needs to make sure he goes back and continues to work hard and show why he has all that hype around him.
Everything can change with just one punch. Up next, the semifinals of the first ever Women's Super Bantamweight Tournament. And there's one of the favorites to win it all, France's Amel Debbie, who puts her perfect record on the line against the self-proclaimed fight queen from Holland, Isis Verbeek. But first, American Tiffany Van Soest, one of the most dangerous women on the planet, squares off against Canada's soft-spoken but hard-hitting Muay Thai specialist Jessica Gladstone. Their semifinal is coming up next.
Order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision. Tonight, the countdown begins as Glory prepares for the most exciting night in its history. The two biggest names in kickboxing make their way to the ring. It's the fight everyone wanted, but nobody believed would happen. Rico Verhoeven, the undisputed heavyweight champion, faces his toughest challenge yet. Badr Hari is back. The king of kickboxing against the bad boy. Technique against sheer, knockout, power. And Glory Collision brings you even more action with the final of the women's inaugural bantamweight tournament. Gigantic heavyweight Jamal Ben Siddiq takes on powerhouse Ismail Lance, and legendary welterweight champion Nicky Holzken aims to continue his phenomenal winning streak with a title defense against Cedric Doumbé. Glory Collision, Rico versus Badr, and the biggest kickboxing event of all time. Tonight, order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision.
2016 saw the start of the race to crown the first women's super bantamweight champion. 8 top-ranked fighters entered the ring and battled through the quarterfinals. Tonight, 4 remain as we head into the semifinal stage. Later this evening, the winners will fight at Glory Collision for the right to be called the first women's division Glory champion. In the first matchup, Tiffany Time Bomb Van Soest of the U.S. looks to retain her #1 ranking as she throws everything she's got at Canada's Jessica Gladstone. And in the second half of the draw, Amel Debbie of France spins into action against dangerous Dutch fighter Isis Verbeek. 4 women within striking distance of the title. Get ready for the semifinals of the first ever Women's Grand Prix Super Bantamweight Tournament.
Glory, what do you think? The ladies are here!
Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the first of 2 Women's Bantamweight Tournament semifinals. This North American Muay Thai champion punched her ticket to the semis with a win over Daniela Graf at Glory 33 in New Jersey. She is Jessica Gladstone.
What a moment for Jessica Gladstone, who broke down in tears yesterday during our fighter interviews. Looks like she might do so right now. She said this is the culmination of years of hard work and sweat and tears. This is her moment in front of 13,000 fans, a chance to advance to the finals of the Women's Super Bantamweight Tournament.
This definitely has to be a surreal experience for her. And she's also from Canada. She's out west in Canada, where I'm from Ontario. But we don't have much opportunities in North America to fight on this big stage. So when we are here, it's definitely a moment that she's going to have to take in and she'll remember for the rest of her life.
She's almost in zombie mode right now, but that's the way she is. Very shy, very cool, calm, and collected. Don't let this fool you.
She has excelled at all levels of karate and Muay Thai and is now ranked as the #1 kickboxing bantamweight in the world. She is Tiffany Van Soest.
According to the odds makers, Tiffany Van Soest, the heavy favorite in this particular fight, minus 1350, Joe. You have to bet $1,350 to win 100.
Yeah, she's a big favorite, and she's very fun to watch. And she calls and explains her style as poetry in motion because she's got incredible footwork, incredible movement, and she's very explosive from the outside.
She told us winning the Glory title is her destiny. Uber confident and promises to be uber aggressive in tonight's semifinal. She wants a knockout. Here is our tale of the tape. Jessica Thumper Gladstone versus the Time Bomb, Tiffany Van Soest. Gladstone 7 years older, but Tiffany, on a world stage at least, has more experience.
Yeah, she has more experience in fighting bigger names in the sport, but some of the biggest difference between these two is the styles. You're gonna see Jessica Gladstone use more of a traditional Muay Thai background, where Van Soest is gonna use a little bit more footwork, movement, and unorthodox striking.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tournament semifinal scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. She is a Golden Gloves champion and IKF World Tournament champion. Her professional record, 6 wins with 6 losses, 2 of those wins by knockout. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, 1.72 meters, and weighing in fight time at an even 122 pounds, 55.3 kilos. Fighting out of Alberta, Canada, ladies and gentlemen, presenting Jessica Thumper Gladstone. Here now is her opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a 3-time Muay Thai champion and WBC International champion. Her record, 15 wins with 2 losses, 1 bout scored even, 5 of those wins by knockout. At 5 feet 4 inches tall, 1.63 meters, she weighed in at an even 120 pounds, 54.5 kilos. Fighting out of Bali, here is Tiffany Time Bomb Van Soest. And your referee in charge of the Glory Ring is Tobias Gerald.
Ladies. Okay, there's 3 rounds in the first semifinal in the super bantamweight division. So you know the rules. Respect my clients at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard. May the best women win. Judge Gloves, back to your corners.
The road to glory collision begins right now. The winner of this fight will advance to the finals, and that will happen tonight later on the Glory Collision pay-per-view. Who will it be? Gladstone in the black gloves, Tiffany Van Soest wearing white.
You're gonna see Tiffany use that movement where Jessica really needs to try to shut down that movement, and she has 2 options. She can either pressure fight and keep Tiffany against the ropes, or use her power to slow her down.
Van Soest went viral last week, kicking a banana tree in Bali. Nearly 2 million views last checked. She was hammering that thing. Perhaps one of those shots to the body of Gladstone, and it's all over.
There's Jessica trying to use her counters, and you're gonna see Jessica use a lot of kicks, and that left kick of Jessica is very dangerous.
A substantial height difference for Gladstone, not quite as big as the one we saw in her first fight with Bestati, but nevertheless, we'll see if Gladstone can use that reach to her advantage, just as she ate a jab.
Both girls had an impressive quarterfinal victory, and they're motivated. This is a huge opportunity for these girls in kickboxing to solidify themselves as the first Grand Prix champion.
If you're watching on UFC Fight Pass and you're a UFC fan, then you've probably heard the name Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the UFC Women's Champion. Tiffany Van Soest has been in the ring with her, and Van Soest can have somewhat of a similar story to Ronda Rousey, who was the first ever Women's Champion in UFC. A win tonight here for Van Soest and a win in the final, and she'll be Glory's first ever Women's Champion.
And she wasn't too happy when we compared her to Ronda Rousey. She wants to be Tiffany Van Soest. But Ronda Rousey had a great career.
Oh, spinning back fist. Rousey fights later this month, December 30th, trying to earn back her championship that she lost in spectacular fashion to Holly Holm.
Jessica can't wait too long. She's got to counter right back, especially against a movement fighter like Tiffany. That left kick is on Tiffany's exit's a great strike.
Not much difference between the two here in round 1. Gladstone perhaps still trying to shake off the nerves. Van Soest has been in several big bouts in her career, including making her MMA debut earlier this year.
Jessica and Team Smandich were talking about training as a pressure fighter for this fight, but it seems like Tiffany's using a lot of good movement and Jessica's just trying to use straight punches and left kicks.
Seconds to go, still really anyone's round. That head kick scored.
And that could be the most damaging strike of the round.
And a nice left hook to the body to punctuate round 1 for Tiffany Van Soos. Later tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Glory Collision, and of course, the main event, Rico Verhoeven versus Badr Hari, perhaps the biggest fight in the history of kickboxing. You can order it now, UFC.tv/Glory Collision. And again, one of these two women will also fight on that card in the final of our Super Bantamweight Women's Tournament.
If you're a longtime kickboxing fan, make sure you order that link because this is definitely history tonight in Oberhausen.
And if you saw the stare down between Rico and Badr from yesterday, it's hard not to order the pay-per-view, one of the most intense I've ever been around.
Count us out.
If you're wondering where Tiffany Van Soos got her nickname Time Bomb, she said her karate teacher gave it to her when she was 16 because he hit her really hard in sparring, and he told her that she went off like a time bomb to get back at it.
And we got to learn a lot about Tiffany. She was on episode 3 of our podcast, Todd.
Nice plug, Joseph. Some urgency here for Gladstone. Who did you give round 1 to?
I still have to give that round to Tiffany for just being a little bit more active on the outside, using her movement, but it was a very close round, easily can go either way. Now Jessica's starting to put a little bit more pressure now. You see her coming forward a little bit more. She felt Tiffany's power. Now she has that little bit more of that confidence to keep walking forward.
We saw from Tiffany's first fight in this tournament, in the quarterfinal, she's just one punch away from leveling her opponent. She put Esma Hassas on the canvas with a straight right hand.
Yeah, she did a little shift step there with a beautiful, put all her weight behind that right hand and dropped Hassas.
Strikes landed 20-7 for Van Soos.
Van Soos seems to be relaxing. Both girls are actually relaxing a little bit more and starting to throw a little bit more confidently.
Can't relax too much. Only 3 rounds.
Jessica's trying to use feints to try to get Tiffany to move and try to land some straight punches off of it.
That head kick hit the glove.
Right.
But then the glove hit the face.
Go holding. Okay. Fight.
Van Soos from America, but now resides in Bali. Says she loves it there. When she's not training, she's surfing.
You hear Jessica's corner calling, keep throwing those kicks. They seem to be doing the most damage.
We asked Gladstone how she felt about her quarterfinal victory, and she said, to be honest, I was in a zone. I don't hardly remember anything.
I'm sure she's watched it many times after, though.
Just a farm girl from Calgary, Canada. Even if she wins the first ever women's championship, she said that's what she'll always be. A shy girl back on the farm. With a giant belt around her waist.
Yeah, but she was impressive. She came in on no notice and
nice jab there from, or right hand rather, from Van Soos. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she came in on short notice and put on a great performance. And regardless what happens, she has to be proud of her glory run.
10 seconds to go. Neither fighter has really landed that one big ooh-ah punch yet or kick.
Fight.
One round to go, Joe.
Yeah, it was that. I feel Tiffany did a lot more damage this round. She did a lot of good uppercut right hands on the inside that kind of rocked Jessica's nose and head back a little bit. But no one has really shown any good advantage in cumulative damage. So it's going to be looking at that clean scoring strikes. And it looks like Tiffany has the damage on my unofficial scorecard.
The winner of this fight will face the winner of Amel Debbie and Isis Verbeek. That fight is coming up next. 3 minutes to go in our first semifinal. Gladstone has some work to do, and she's only got 3 minutes to do it.
This fight can easily be up to this third round. That first round was very close to call. I gave Tiffany the second round, so third round's up in the air.
We are in Oberhausen, Germany. Every ticket has been sold, and it has been sold for months. Nearly 13,000
Jessica
to watch Rico versus Botter, still to come tonight on pay-per-view. Round 3. Jessica Gladstone in the black gloves, Van Soos in the white.
Jessica's really relying on that 1-2 left kick.
Gladstone needs to get busy, does she not, Joe?
Yeah, she needs to put the pressure on a little bit. Those left kicks aren't doing enough damage. She has to kind of close distance and try to close that range on Tiffany and keep her against the ropes, try to get some more combinations happening.
Her entire life can change, and this goes for both fighters, if they win this fight. 2 minutes to go.
Tiffany's trying to use angles. She's coming in and trying to throw her punches. There she's angling to her left and trying to get that uppercut right hand again.
The right just missed from Gladstone. And again, anytime Gladstone holds the leg, Van Soos tries the spinning back fist. And there's another one.
She's trying to get that advantage in clean scoring strikes with spectacular techniques. Judges in Glory's rules score that very highly.
It's that uppercut, the left uppercut, a stinging shot to the jaw of Gladstone.
Yeah, Tiffany angles off to her left and lands that uppercut beautifully.
Right. Step back.
Gladstone is becoming very predictable with her strikes. She needs to change it up a little bit.
According to Joe's scorecard, Gladstone not only needs to win this round, but most likely needs a knockdown. Needs a 2-point win here in round 3. And we saw in our first fight tonight, Beztadi versus Brule, things can change in an instant.
What makes Tiffany so amazing to watch is she's very difficult to hit. She's never a standing target. She moves on angles, moves her head off, and she attacks on different angles, so very hard to figure out.
And despite the size advantage for Gladstone, it's been Van Soos's jab that's landed more often.
It's that angling. Muay Thai fighters traditionally have a very tall stance and come very straight forward. So a good strategy like Tiffany's using is to use angles and movement.
Good. No holding too long. Fight.
And that's it. It's over. Who's headed to Glory Collision in the first ever final of a women's tournament? We'll find out. The decision is next.
Glory Collision is the biggest night kickboxing has ever seen, and the action doesn't stop with Rico versus Botter. To open the night, we'll see the final of the inaugural women's bantamweight tournament with the winner crowned division champion. Earlier that night in the Superfight series, semifinal action will take place. The first half of the draw sees Isis Verbeek of the Netherlands take on the always dangerous Amel Debbie of France. The second semifinal sees the favorite #1 ranked Tiffany Van Soos of America go up against surprise package Jessica Gladstone of Canada. The winner of each semifinal will fight twice in one night for the shot at the first ever Glory Women's Bantamweight title as the year-long Grand Prix tournament draws to a close. Also, the biggest heavyweight in Glory, gigantic Jamal Big Ben Sadiq, winds up for another huge knockout against rising star Ismail Lant. Currently ranked #1 in the heavyweight division, Lant will look to chop down the giant Sadiq and pave his way to a title shot with Rico Verhoeven in 2017. And undefeated welterweight champion Nicky Holzken looks to extend his winning streak to a Glory record 13 straight wins as he defends his title for the 4th time. This time, his opponent, #4 ranked Cedric Doumbé. It's Glory Collision, Rico versus Butter, on kickboxing's biggest night.
Well, Joe, we didn't see the action we hoped to see, but it is what it is.
Yeah, the first round was the closest of the two. Both girls were landing some good combinations back and forth, both very hesitant. But as the rounds got on, both girls got a little bit more comfortable, started relaxing a little bit. But ultimately, it was Tiffany doing a great job at angling off and throwing some big punches on the inside and exiting and moving. Jessica just didn't have enough power to slow down the output of Van Soest.
Here are the statistics from our first semifinal, and you can see that Gladstone threw more, but it was Van Soest that landed more.
Yeah, she did good jobs landing her kicks and her punches on the inside. And Jessica's left kick just didn't do enough to slow her down.
Van Soest with a 2-to-1 advantage in punches and kicks land, and strikes absorbed 21 shots to the head of Jessica Thumper Gladstone.
And she ate a lot of low kicks with 23 absorbed to that leg as well.
Time for the decision. Here's Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here now are the totals. They score this bout 29-28, 29-28, 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27, a unanimous decision. All for your winner, now advancing to the tournament final, Tiffany Van Soest.
A smirk from Van Soest, almost as if to say that was easy. She's standing by with Ron Crook.
Okay, thank you, Todd. Tiffany Van Soest, this was a very dangerous matchup because Jessica Gladstone had no pressure on her. She was the underdog. You were the favorite with the target on your back, but you took care of business. Give us the details on this fight.
Jessica was a very tough opponent, solid, very strong, just as we expected. I just tried to stay composed, play it safe, and warm up for the next fight. I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do, but I'm feeling warm now. I'm going to go back, stay warm, regroup, and get ready to come out here and do this again.
Well, you told us yesterday that this would be your first kickboxing tournament, so that will be the routine. Give us some details what you'll do when you get back into the locker room.
I'm just going to go based on how I feel. I'm going to stay warm, going to stay loose, and just go by how I feel. Yeah.
You will face in the finals either Emil Debbie or Isis Verbeek. Who do you prefer to fight, and who do you match up better with?
I'll fight either one. It doesn't matter to me. But I think a really good, clean, technical fight would be Emil Debbie.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tiffany Van Soest. We'll see you in the finals.
Thank you.
All right, Todd and Joseph, back to you.
No one's been able to beat Emil Debbie. Tiffany Van Soest might get her opportunity as she advances to the final later tonight on the pay-per-view Glory Collision. Emil Debbie and Isis Verbeek still to come here tonight. Straight ahead, Harut Gregorian, who knows only one speed, looks to upend the hopes of 24-year-old Daniel Solaja, who is making his Glory debut and looks to send shockwaves throughout the welterweight division. But first, as I mentioned, no one has beaten this French kickboxer, 28-0. One more win tonight, and she'll fight for a world title. Standing in her way, the Dutch Dynamo, Isis Verbeek. Our second semifinal is next.
Order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision. Tonight, Rico versus Butter in Glory Collision. Glory's reigning and undisputed champion Rico Verhoeven versus kickboxing's bad boy, Badr Hari, is back. Rico versus Badr in Glory Collision. Order now at ufc.tv/Glory Collision.
Glory kicks off the new year in epic style and brings the cream of kickboxing to the City of Angels with Glory Superfight Series Los Angeles. In the headline fight, the first ever title defense for new featherweight champion Robin van Roosmalen against contender tournament winner Matt Embry. Plus the deadly kicks of Giga Chikadze and an all-American face-off between Mike Lemaire and Warren Thompson. It's Glory Superfight Series Los Angeles, January 20th. Don't miss it.
Beautiful performance by the time bomb herself, Tiffany Van Soest, as she advances to the finals. Standing behind me is undefeated Emil Debbie. She will face Isis Verbeek in the semifinals, and going on, whoever wins that fight will obviously fight Tiffany Van Soest. Very excited for this, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready for a great fight. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now turn to the other half of the tournament bracket. This 21-year-old began training full-time right out of high school and now finds herself just one step away from a chance at a world title belt. Here is Isis Verbeek.
Don't tell Isis she's the underdog in this match. She said her opponent doesn't matter. She can do whatever needs to be done. I will stick to my game plan and I will win.
Yeah, she has an all-rounded style, and speaking to them in that pre-fight interview, her and her coach really pride herself with that Dutch-style kickboxing. And like we saw in that first fight with Tajani, it's that punches to low kicks, and that's what her and her coach feel is the biggest success to her career.
She's only 21 years old, has 12 professional fights, 9 wins, 5 coming by way of knockout. She said she loves low kicks, Joe. I know you do too. How devastating can they be against Emil Debbie?
Emil Debbie, she's gonna really have to use those to slow her movement down.
She's coming off a quarterfinal win over South Korea's Ji-Won Lee and puts her perfect professional record on the line. Here is Emil Debbie.
Emil told us she does nothing but eat, sleep, and kickbox. It's all she's ever done, it's all she wants to do, and it's helped her become the #2 ranked super bantamweight in the world today.
And she had a great quarterfinal performance against Ji-Won Lee at Glory 35 Nice with her hometown advantage. She looked amazing in her debut. She was able to showcase her style, which is based a lot on movement and making her very difficult to hit.
Emil Debbie could become a household name, at least in kickboxing fans' household, but she said that doesn't matter. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. I just want to be the first ever women's champion, and she can take a massive step here tonight if she can get past Isis Verbeek and advance to the final later tonight on Glory Collision. Here is our tale of the tape. It's the Netherlands versus France in semifinal #2.
So we're gonna see the biggest difference here is that height and reach advantage of Emil Debbie. So that means Isis Verbeek is gonna really have to showcase that Dutch style that she prides herself with by closing distance down and really using those low kicks to shut down that movement of Emil Debbie. But it's that fight experience of Emil Debbie that could play an advantage, and it's that undefeated record, and it's a lot of added extra pressure for Emil Debbie to keep that record undefeated.
A 100% winning percentage. Not too bad.
This tournament semifinal scheduled once again for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. She earned a split decision win in her quarterfinal over Russia's Irina Mazepa. Her professional record, 9 wins with 3 losses, 5 of those 9 wins by knockout. At 5 feet 4.5 inches, 1.64 meters, she weighed in at 119.5 pounds, 54.3 kilos. Fighting tonight out of the Netherlands, ladies and gentlemen, Isis, the Fight Queen Verbeek. Her opponent standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a 2-time WKN European, 4-time world champion. Her professional record, perfect. 28 fights, 28 wins with 11 by way of knockout. At 5 feet 7 inches, 1.70 meters, she weighed in at an even 119 pounds, 54 kilos. She's here tonight in Oberhausen out of Nice, France. Ladies and gentlemen, Amel Debbie! And your referee for this contest, Atsushi Onare.
Okay, this is Glory's tournament rule, okay? 3 minutes, 3 round, 2 knockdown system, okay?
Not only is Amel Debbie undefeated, no one's really given her that close of a fight. Isis Verbeek will certainly do that. Here we go. Opening round, semi-final number 2. Amel Debbie in the white gloves, Isis Verbeek in the black.
We're going to see how the contrasting styles are going to work, where you're going to see Amel try to use a little bit more movement and distance control. But Verbeek has to sit there and make sure she throws her power combinations. That's the way to slow down a movement fighter.
And those low kicks, keep an eye on them from Isis Verbeek. That could be the key to victory for the Dutch fighter.
Interesting to see Debbie come in as more of the pressure fighter in this fight.
Amel Debbie, nicknamed Hoosh Hoosh, because every power punch she throws in the gym.
Yeah, she makes Hoosh Hoosh.
Big Hoosh Hoosh sound.
Different fighters make different noises when they hit the pads.
Hey!
Debbie began fighting at the age of 9 when her father took her to the gym. She said she was hooked from day 1. Now fast forward, 17 years later, and she's 2 wins away from becoming the first ever Glory Women's Champion.
It's a really slow start. It looks like Debbie's just sitting there waiting to counterpunch. But Verbeek's not giving her the opportunity. She's just sitting in the corner, not doing too much.
We expected both of these women's semifinals to be gangbuster affairs, but so far, not much action at all.
Well, hopefully they're not overthinking of the finals, because they need to win this fight before they get there.
Why conserve energy when you may not have a chance to even use the energy you conserve? Their left hand misses there from Verbeek.
Yeah, you hear Nick Hemmers in Verbeek's corner asking for the low kick. Follow up with that low kick after those punches.
You go down the scoring criteria, Joe, and it may come down to aggressiveness in this round. Who's been more aggressive?
Well, it's been the pressure fighting of Debbie, constantly keeping Verbeek against the ropes. But there's not too much activity. According to fight metrics, both have thrown around 30 strikes each, both landing between 13 and 14 strikes.
Spinning back fist from Debbie, blocked by Verbeek. And the 13,000 fans here in Oberhausen haven't had much to get excited about from either of these women's semifinals. And several legends in the building getting ready for Badr Hari later tonight, including one of your heroes, Joe.
Yeah, Semi Shield. He's the tallest and one of the best heavyweights, and I loved watching him fight. And here you go. He's here watching the women's fight, and he's going to see the first women champion tonight.
Semi Shield has fought Rico and Badr. Be interesting perhaps maybe to get his take later tonight on who he thinks will win. One of the truly dominant kickboxers of his era. If you beat Semi Shield, you beat the best.
He's definitely going to go down in history as one of the best all-time heavyweight kickboxers. So it's awesome to have him here live.
And speaking of one of the best, there is Alistair Overeem, who will be on the commentary team with myself and Joseph Valtellini later tonight. He fought Badr twice, has one win and one loss.
Fight!
Alistair Overeem, a contender for the UFC heavyweight title. Came up a bit short, but his home, his start in Holland in the kickboxing gym. Round 2 of a scheduled 3. Who did you give that first round to, Joe?
Very tough to score, and I mean, Verbeek was throwing combinations, but she was throwing them on her heels, wasn't really coming forward. So I'm going to give that one to Debbie just based on her constant pressure and counter-attacking.
Again, Isis, that head kick connected. Completely content just to back up either into the corner or against the ropes. A strange strategy.
Yeah, like we saw that in her first fight too. She kind of used a little bit more movement on the outside and throwing combinations, but it's hard for judges to score you the win when you're constantly moving back.
Asushi Inari, our referee, judging that was a slip. You can see how close this is. Almost the exact same amount of punches thrown and landed. Debbie thought about perhaps a Superman punch, or Verbeek rather, but was cut off by Debbie.
Debbie does like to throw that spinning back fist, and those clean scoring strikes with spectacular techniques could be the difference.
I guess I should call it a Superwoman punch. Nice 1-2 there from Debbie, snuck in. And the way this fight's going, every connected punch matters. And a left hook from Verbeek. Debbie said she doesn't care about anything but becoming champion. Verbeek, on the other hand, somewhat of a fashionista, an icon, always making sure she matched. Yesterday at the weigh-in, showed up wearing lingerie.
Yeah, she definitely has a very cool style, and even in her Glory debut, she had all of these little fancy little tassels coming off of her shorts.
Is that what they're called? Fancy little tassels?
I think so.
And a 1-2 there from Debbie. Joe, you look nice in your three-piece suit tonight. Custom made there.
Yeah, trying to keep up with you, Mr. Grisham.
Another close round. And that knee may have caught Debbie from Verbeek.
Not sure if that rocked her or
a little off balance.
Yeah, she kind of looked like she stumbled there after that knee.
We're searching for something, folks.
Might have been that knee to wake up Debbie. Maybe she wants to start putting more combinations and more volume together.
Van Soest, the winner of our first semifinal, advancing to Glory Collision later tonight. The winner of this 3-rounder will fight her for the women's super bantamweight title. And it's anyone's fight at this point.
Yeah, looking at fight metrics, they have it almost identical with strikes thrown and landed.
Debbie's fighting style is tactical, very technical. She's hard to hit, and she's shown that tonight because Verbeek can't seem to land much of anything.
Yeah, but Debbie's not doing much either, and that was even a close round. But according to the judges, it looked like that knee could have landed and rocked Debbie, so that could give her the round as winning with the clean scoring strikes and doing the most damage.
Safe to say, round 3 will be the determining round in this fight. 3 minutes to let it all hang out.
And Verbeek in her quarterfinal fight, she kind of had the similar approach. She was backing up a lot, using counter strikes, but it was her 3rd round where she kept fighting backwards, and she needs to push the pace a little bit more if she wants to have a dominant 3rd round.
Ready? Fight!
Verbeek got a pretty loud ovation here in Oberhausen when she was introduced. Several thousand Dutch kickboxing fans are here. They love to have something to cheer about. Can Verbeek deliver?
Both exchanged good straight punches back and forth.
What would your message be in the respective corners between that round?
Well, I would tell Verbeek that she's got to put pressure on. She's got to put some output. Stay off the ropes and keep coming forward and keep throwing that low kick. Same thing for Debbie. Be a little bit more active. Use your straight punches and try to put some flow together.
According to the fight metrics that are staring us right in the face, Debbie has landed 39 strikes, Verbeek 37. That's how close this is. Oh, and a right hand gets Verbeek on the chin.
Stop! Hey.
You never want to leave it in the hands of the judges, Joe, if you don't have to, but especially a fight like this, which really, the judges are just going to put their hands up and close their eyes and mark a name.
That's what they're going to have to do. This fight is too close to call and to be confident about. But it's that constant pressure. The judges have to be looking at that constant pressure.
A counter right sends Debbie backwards a couple of steps. She raises her fist as if to say, all right, let's do it now. A minute and a half to go. Perhaps that one punch will linger in the minds of the judges. And then Debbie with a right hand.
Too much, okay? Okay?
History is on the line here. Someone will be fighting for the women's championship.
I'd like to see Verbeek use that low kick she loves to throw. Debbie's just standing there after she defends those punches, leaving the low kick wide open.
Verbeek perhaps had visions of a spinning back fist there.
She's trying to put a string of power shots together, and there you go. There's that punch to low kick that she needs to do more of.
Verbeek seems very comfortable in the corner, back against the ropes.
Yeah, she escapes and then goes right back there. She goes right back into the corner.
Here's some action now as both fighters open up with 20 seconds left in round 3.
Debbie's landing good front kicks that seem to be winding Verbeek a little bit.
Upstairs and downstairs goes Verbeek.
Stop! And wait!
Well, Joe, neither one of these fighters can complain when it's over because it was as close as it gets.
Yeah, it could have come down to that third round.
Who advances to the finals? The decision coming up next.
Order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision.
Coming forward, attacking the body with the right hand.
I think like 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago, he put out a target list with me on it. So I'll fight anybody, you know. I'm the champion. I'm on top of the mountain. Hey, brother, if you wanna have one more fight and wanna end as the best, you gotta face the best, and that's me. So if you wanna do it, let's go.
I don't care who. I don't care. I'm ready for everybody. So I will knock this guy out.
I know what to say. Don't poke the bear. Well, they poked him. We are ready for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Tonight, neither man wants to go to the scorecards.
Order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision.
Welcome back inside the Coing Pilsner Arena, and The second semifinal fight of the women's super bantamweight tournament had action in round 3, but wasn't enough for either fighter to say they won this fight.
I don't know. This is one of those fights that I don't want to give my official scorecard to because it's way too close to call. Amel Debbie seemed to kind of put a little bit more pressure, but it's that one right hand by Verbeek that the judges could have said done the most damage. But Amel Debbie came right back and put some good combinations together. Could easily go either way.
Here's how close it was. 42 punches landed for Debbie, 41 for Verbeek. There you have it.
Very close on all 3 rounds. But you can see it was Amel Debbie that was really controlling the center of the ring, and Debbie was not in the corner once, and all pressure was from Amel Debbie, which could be the advantage in that degree of aggressiveness.
Who is advancing to the final later tonight at Glory Collision? Tim Hughes breaks the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 tournament rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here now are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. They scored the bout 29-28, 30-27, 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. A unanimous decision, all for your winner. Now advancing to the tournament final, Amel Debbie.
So the aggression paid off for Amel Debbie. She backed Isis into the corner several times, and that was the difference. Here's Ron Kruk.
Thank you, Amel Debbie. That was an extremely close back and forth battle. Why do you feel the judges awarded you the decision tonight?
C'était extrêmement près, aller-retour. Pourquoi tu penses que les juges t'ont choisi pour la gagnante?
Je pense parce que j'ai mieux fini le combat qu'elle. Ça s'est joué vraiment à un fil. Et je suis allée la chercher parce que je savais qu'en face de moi, je vous l'ai dit, une très bonne boxeuse. Et voilà, j'en suis aujourd'hui ici. Et la finale sera différente.
I think that I really went for it. It was a really tough one, and she brought it, but I pushed really hard and went for it. And at the end of the day, I'm really happy.
You should be a big victory for you. Next up, Tiffany Van Soest. What do you need to do to take Tiffany out?
C'était une bonne victoire pour toi. La prochaine, c'est Tiffany Van Soest. Qu'est-ce que tu as besoin de faire pour y gagner ce match?
Boxer plus.
I need to kickbox more.
Even I got that one. Lots of kickboxing. Okay, Amel Debbie, thank you very much. We'll see you in the finals.
Thank you all people. Thank you.
What did you think about that decision? Use the hashtag #GloryCollision on social media and let us know. Here's the Super Bantamweight Grand Prix Tournament bracket. We started with 8, we're down to 2. Van Soest versus Amel Debbie. Other than Rico versus Botter, our main event on the Glory Superfight series has the most bad blood between the fighters. An intense stare down yesterday sets the stage for Congo's eccentric Daniel Alunga taking on Michael Dute in a rematch. That's still to come. But first, Harut Grigorian vows to use his aggressive style to crush Daniel Salaja, who will be fighting in front of his hometown crowd tonight here in Oberhausen. That bout is coming up next. Want to welcome in Alistair Overeem here to our commentary team. Alistair, you're back in a kickboxing arena. How does it feel to be back?
Well, it's good to be back. All I can say, I'm very excited for the main event, Rico versus Butter. Two greats of these times in the world of kickboxing, and I can't wait.
You've been in the MMA circles for a while. How much do you miss being in these big kickboxing venues and having big kickboxing fights?
Well, it all started out Butter challenging me. I accepted that challenge. I fought in versus Butter. I won by KO, and at that time I challenged the champion, Remy. I had a goal to become champion in the K1. I became champion, and then I closed it for me.
All right,
I have no other aspirations to be in the kickboxing gym.
Well, that's sad. Maybe in a couple years you'll change your mind.
Who knows? I can't predict the future. But for now, it's the UFC Championship belt that's on my mind.
All right, Alistair Overeem will be joining us later tonight on the Glory Collision pay-per-view here ringside. Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
You got it.
This hometown favorite fought for the WKN middleweight title earlier this year. Now making his way to the glory ring, Daniel Salaja.
What a moment here for Daniel Salaja, making his glory debut, but not in just any venue, Joe Valtellini. He's making it in Oberhausen, which is his hometown.
Yeah, Salaja is a very fast, explosive fighter, likes to mix things up really well. Look for him to land his power on the inside and to keep attacking that back leg.
He was with us at Glory 31 in Amsterdam and is set to make his third Glory start here in Germany. Please welcome Harut Grigorian.
Joe, when people are watching kickboxing for the first time, they're looking for someone they can get behind, a fighter's style who they can really take in and relish. You tell me that Harut Grigorian is about as exciting as they come.
Oh yeah, he's one of those fighters that he only wants to fight the big names, and he always brings the fight no matter what. And he made an impressive Glory debut at Glory 29 against Maximo Suarez with a big right hand knockout, and his last fight was at Glory 31 Amsterdam, which was a very close decision against Johan Congolo, and he definitely earned a lot of respect for the welterweights in the division.
Certainly an intimidating force. I wonder what's going through the mind of Daniel Salaja right now. Here is our tale of the tape. 27-year-old Armenian Harut Grigorian and the 24-year-old making his debut.
Yeah, it's very good. You're going to expect a lot of back and forth exchanges between these two, as both of these guys really like to get on the inside and throw a lot of big punches and combinations. And look for the power in both of these guys, as they're both very powerful.
Grigorian with a slight reach advantage, but not as many fights, believe it or not. Salaja, only 24 years old, has been in 71 professional bouts.
Yeah, it's very close on paper, so we'll see if that edge and glory experience for Harut has an advantage.
Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, this four-time world champion brings with him a record of 61 wins with 9 losses, 1 bout scored even, and 26 career knockouts. He stands 5 feet 9.5 inches, 1.76 meters, and he weighed in at 159.5 pounds, 72.5 kilos. Fighting tonight in front of his hometown fans in Oberhausen, Germany, here is Daniel Fresh Prince Salaja. Here now is his opponent, fighting out of the white corner, a world tournament champion who comes in winning 10 of his last 11 bouts. His record, 42 wins with just 10 losses, 31 of those wins by knockout. At 5 feet 11 inches tall, 1.80 meters, he weighed in at 158.5 pounds and even 72 kilos. He fights tonight out of Armenia. Here again, Arut Grigorian. Your referee for this contest is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you want. Break! Judge! Judge! Judge!
Fight! Todd Grisham and Joseph Baltellini ringside, and Joe, we had a fight tape watching session, and we saw that Salaha seemed to be hit with a lot of uppercuts. Is that what you would go to if you're Harut Grigorian?
Yeah, if I was Harut Grigorian, I would establish my cross and my hook and periodically mix in the uppercut. Make it a surprise.
Also, Ron Kruk and Whitney Miller with us backstage. Grigorian wearing the white gloves. Solaja making his debut in the black gloves.
Solaja really looks impressive in his early start. He's throwing big combinations, and he likes throwing that left kick, and he's really known for his low kicks, mixing in that inside leg kick as well as that rear low kick. And it's those rear low kicks to the back leg that do the most damage, because fighters aren't used to taking kicks on that shot, so that's a perfect shot for Solaja to use.
There's no settling into a fight against Harut Grigorian. He's coming right at you 100 miles an hour. Solaja, in a case where you fight or get knocked down right away.
Both of these guys get very aggressive with their boxing, but it's Solaja that you'll notice kick a lot more, where Grigorian may throw some knees in the inside.
That right to the temple slowed Solaja down, and then to the body went Harut.
There's those kicks and mixed with punches from Solaja. Very nice.
The always active Grigorian lost his last fight to Johan Congolo, but it was a very close fight.
There was that uppercut we're talking about.
Oh, and down goes Solaja. Not sure what punch or kick did it, but he is in pain.
4, 5.
This might
6,
be over.
It looked like a body shot.
8, 9, 10.
And it is over. Harut Grigorian with a body shot of some type ends the night for Solaja, who was making his debut, and it turned quickly into a nightmare.
I'm excited to see the highlight of this, but Harut was constantly attacking the head, keeping the guard of Solaja really high, and finally decided to mix up those uppercuts and those big body shots.
Here it is. Let's see what connected. A right hand perhaps right there. No, it was the left shot, maybe to the liver, and down goes Solaja.
Yeah, it was that left shot to the liver, beautifully timed, right behind the elbow. It was perfectly paced right behind that elbow, just inside of it. Perfect timing by Grigorian. Known for that vicious power, shows it once again. He already has 2 knockouts in his glory record, both by punches.
Harut Grigorian told us, don't be late to this fight. It will be over early. And that qualifies as being over early. And look at the pain on the face of Daniel Solaja. We'll make it official when the Glory Superfight Series returns. It's been a couple minutes, but Daniel Salaha still hasn't recovered, losing by knockout. And there's one of the knockout kings, Badr Hari, coming out earlier tonight, feeling the ropes. And then Rico Verhoeven strolling his way throughout the arena, saying hello to friends, taking pictures. He seems loose and relaxed.
Yeah, and the crowd is super pumped about it. You heard this place light up when both of those guys walked through.
All right, for the particulars now, we send it back into the ring. Tim Hughes
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you watched it as it happened. We have an official time of 1 minute and 1 second of that very first round when this one comes to an end by technical knockout. For your winner, Harut Grigorian.
What an excellent fight by Harut Grigorian, really showing his nickname, the Rocky. Really came in there, threw some really good punches, and finished that with a vicious left body hook.
He describes his style as a baseball bat style, and Salaja took one, a double right up the middle to the liver, and that was all she wrote. One fight left to go, and it happens to be our main event. Daniel Olunga, a veteran at 29 years old, has already picked up 57 professional wins, including one already over Michael Duke. But that was because Duke tore a ligament while throwing a punch and couldn't continue. He wants revenge and can get it when we return next.
Hardy, but some bad boy.
The human highlight reel. The K1 World Heavyweight Champion. No one knocks out like the way Butter Hardy knocks people
Glory kicks off the new year in epic style and brings the cream of kickboxing to the City of Angels with Glory Superfight Series Los Angeles. In the headline fight, the first ever title defense for new featherweight champion Robin van Roosmalen against contender tournament winner Matt Embry. Plus the deadly kicks of Giga Chikadze and an all-American face-off between Mike Lemaire and Warren Thompson. It's Glory Superfight Series Los Angeles, January 20th. Don't miss it.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, for your headline super bout of the evening. All but one of his 5 Glory appearances have ended inside the distance by some form of knockout. He is Michael Dute.
He wastes no time, whether it be fighting or entering the fight. Known as the Dream Crusher, he is Michael Dute with that kill or be killed strategy.
Yeah, this is a rematch from Glory 11 Chicago where Dute really tore a ligament in his arm and he wants revenge and he wants that TKO loss off of his record.
This Congolese crowd favorite now calls Germany home. Winner of 6 of his first 7 Glory starts, Daniel Olunga.
Daniel Olunga, popular with the fans, obviously a bit flamboyant. He was born in Congo. This is his native traditional warrior costume. As a child in 1987, his family fled to Europe to escape a civil war. They settled in Germany, and now he represents both the Congo and Germany whenever he fights.
And you see contrasting styles. Michael Dute comes out with that very mean-looking face and aggressive look. where Daniel Ilunga likes to have fun. He's smiling, waving to the crowd as he comes down, and this is his 11th Glory fight. He had a very successful run early on in his Glory career, but unfortunately, he suffered 3 losses in his last 3 fights against top opponents like Saulo Cavallari, Artem Vahitov, and Murad Bouzidi. But this is a guy who's been fighting at the top of the light heavyweight division for a long time.
And I tell you what, the way that Duke was talking in our pre-fight press conference, Ilunga may need that spear to slow him down because Duke will come out firing. He wants a knockout victory over Ilunga in the worst way. All smiles, Daniel Ilunga, but don't let that smile fool you. He can be nasty once the bell rings.
And watch out for those unorthodox knees that he likes to throw, like one of his trainers, Remy Bonyaski.
Here is the tale of the tape. It's Germany versus the Netherlands, a rematch. Both men very tall, 6'3", and they weighed in at identical weights of 207 pounds.
Daniel Ilunga has that slight reach advantage, which is going to be a big favor for him in trying to keep Dude away from him. He also has an advantage in professional fight experience. Both have very similar win percentages, but the big advantage is the more successful Glory run of Daniel Ilunga, and Michael Duke really needs to get some wins to get the momentum flowing.
A war of words dating back to Glory 9 New York underscores your headline super fight of the evening. 3 rounds in the light heavyweight division between a self-titled Dream Crusher and a Central African Warrior. This bout sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association. At the opening bell, your referee, Atsushi Onare. For those with us live inside a sold-out König Pilsner Arena in Oberhausen, Germany, to Glory fans watching in over 175 countries around the world, it's time for Glory! Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, he last appeared in the Glory ring in Zagreb 2.5 years ago. His professional record, 39 wins with just 6 losses, 17 of those wins by knockout. At 6 feet 3 inches tall, 1.91 meters, he weighed in at 207.5 pounds, 94.3 kilos. Fighting out of the Netherlands, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Michael the Dream Crusher Duke. Here now is his opponent, fighting out of the white corner, a 2-time World Muay Thai champion. His professional record, 57 wins with 10 losses, 44 big knockouts. At 6 feet 3 inches tall, 1.91 meters, he weighed in at an even 207 pounds, 94 kilos. Fighting out of the Congo by way of Germany, here is Daniel Debuba Ilunga. Once again, your referee, Atsushi Onare.
Wait up. Wait up. Okay, this fight is Glory is okay. 3 minutes, 3 rounds. 3 knockdown system. Okay? She can.
If it were up to Michael Duke, this fight would be over in 30 seconds, win or lose. If you saw his fight against Tyrone Spong, it was one of the great 30-second fights ever. Both men got leveled in that contest. Let's see what happens here. It's our main event. Duke in the black gloves, Ilunga in the white.
Yeah, both of those guys suffered a loss from Tyrone Spong at Glory 9. And that's when the controversy in this rematch started. Ilunga had an early stoppage against Spong, and Duke told Ilunga to stop crying about it, and that's what caused the tension between the two and gave them their first match at Glory 11. So So there's a lot of unfinished business between the two.
Dude seems to do all the trash talking. Ilunga told us he trash talks because he's insecure. Not sure about that, but it is a theory.
Well, since we've seen Duke last in the Glory Ring, he's now training with Melvin Manhoff since 2000.
Oh, and a right hand buckled Daniel Ilunga. He's still backing up, almost went down to a knee, and he's fighting back, and down goes Ilunga.
It was that perfectly timed left hook that put Ilunga down.
5, 6, okay, 7, 8, okay.
Let's see if Duke can put him away. A right hand misses, and now it's Ilunga who's rock Dukes. Back and forth we go. And a knee from Ilunga.
There goes Ilunga mixing in those big hooks.
This is a Michael Duke fight, all right. Back and forth we go. It's feast or famine. Both men have given all they've got.
Hopefully this doesn't go 3 rounds. These guys are putting all their energy into the first 40 seconds of this fight.
Someone tell Duke there's more than just a round 1 in these things. Nice baby left hook there from Duke.
I'm not sure I've seen many kicks, but it's those vicious knees of Ilunga that Dude has to watch out for.
And now it's Duke backing up to the ropes.
Ilunga's got a very unorthodox way of throwing those knees. You don't see them coming.
These men were made for each other.
Ilunga usually likes to be a little bit more patient, but when you fight Duke, you have no choice but to sit and counter right back.
And give credit to Ilunga, who went down, got back up, and is delivering some hellacious power shots of his own. We're waiting for more bombs to drop. This crowd is stunned.
It looks like Dude's catching his breath a little bit before he goes on another attack.
A lunging right hand from Ilunga comes up empty. 10 seconds to go. We can still see another knockdown. Fantastic round 1. Especially for Michael Duke, who gets a knockdown.
Yeah, you definitely lived up to his hype and his name, and he constantly comes in and just throws bombs, and boom! Started with that right hand from Duke. Boom, perfectly timed right between the defense of Ilunga, and then he just started to follow up with some other big punches, and it was the left hook that should be coming right after that hand that clipped the jaw of Ilunga to knock down, giving Duke the knockdown in the round, but then Ilunga came right back and started stunning and rocked Duke on his own with those big hooks and started to try to mix in those knees.
And look at Robin Van Roosmalen's girlfriend sitting next to him behind the two. I don't know if you saw her, but she had her hands over her face. She couldn't bear to see any more of it. Could we see similar action later tonight in Glory Collision? Rico Verhoeven versus Badr Hari. You can order now. UFC.tv/Glory Collision. I assume that's Robin Van Roosmalen's girlfriend. A bit presumptuous from me. Either way, whoever is sitting next to him was stunned, as we all were. It was a rock'em sock'em robot round 1. What's in store for round 2? Duke the black gloves, Ilunga in the white.
There's that aggressive start.
Look at this.
Defense isn't even an option for these two. Both slugging back and forth. I'd like to see Ilunga mix in those knees a little bit more. He found some success with them in the first round.
Both men in the midst of losing streaks. But what a way to bounce out of it. That may have been a trip, and it was.
I'd like to see Ilunga take his time a little bit, be a little bit more patient, set up with his jab and his kicks and knees. Doesn't need to slug like that.
I should say a glory losing streak for Ilunga. He's coming off a 4-man tournament win in South Africa. And there's a right and a left, and Ilunga Wasn't ready for that. Defend yourself at all times. Look at the total punches thrown and landed, and all those were power shots. Not sure I saw one jab.
No, there's no setup punches when Duke's fighting.
And there's one of those knees you wanted, Joe, and a second one.
Yeah, he's got very good knees. And it's one of his most effective weapons, and I want to see him use his kicks a little bit more too.
A wild left hand from Ilunga, but everything's been wild in this fight. Two wild and crazy guys in our main event here. Want to thank those of you joining us on UFC Fight Pass. You can see Glory Collision on UFC TV. The first time ever that UFC has teamed up with another organization to present a pay-per-view. History will be made tonight. It's Glory Collision.
And this is one of the perfect fights to warm everybody up for Glory Collision.
You know, Rico and Bader are sitting in the back watching this. A sneaky left hook there from Ilunga. And a right hand, right to the jaw. But back comes Duke. Here they go again, opening up. But it's Ilunga getting the better this time.
Yeah, Ilunga's finding that right hand and that knee, but Duke's doing a good job at firing right back.
We've been waiting for this all night. We got a knockout from Haruk Grigorian, and now it's Michael Duke and Daniel Ilunga squaring off in a classic.
Dude actually tried attacking the body there. Kind of looked like it slowed Ilunga down.
What's the body, says Duke. He wants the head. It couldn't have been as good as the first round, but another sensational round two here between Daniel Ilunga and Michael Duke. Who do you give that round to, Joe?
Well, I gotta give that round to Ilunga. He seemed to be finding more success with the right hand and his right knee, and those were the shots that were doing the most damage. He's constantly throwing that right hand, right knee to follow. But Michael Duke just constantly countering back and throwing, which makes it very difficult to score. But in my opinion, it was Ilunga doing more damage with that right hand and those right knees.
Earlier we showed you Sam Shelton. There's Alistair Overeem and Errol Zimmerman here.
Yeah, they're right behind us, listening in on this fight and probably getting hyped up about it.
So round one certainly went to Duke with the knockdown. Round two you gave to Ilunga. Can you imagine if Ilunga wins round three and then we go to a sudden death round four?
Yeah, the extra rounds are what makes kickboxing extra exciting.
Still time to order Glory Collision, and make sure you use the hashtag Glory Collision on social media. Let us know what you're thinking about tonight's action so far. This, by far, the most action-packed bout of the night, and they start, or they pick up, where they left off in round two. And the right hand sends Duke to the canvas.
That's been Ilunga's best shot in this fight.
5, 6, 7.
Here we go.
Fight!
Both guys have scored one knockdown now.
This could go either way. Just don't go to the scorecards. That was the back of the head shot. I'm not sure that should have been a knockdown.
I think it was the knee before that shot that did the damage. It looked like he went down with the knee.
6, 7.
You can see the corner furious if that was called a knockdown. So Duke needs a knockout, it seems here.
Yeah.
He's got 2 minutes to do it.
Melvin Manhoff's yelling in that corner. Not sure what he's saying, but Duke keeps coming back.
And now Ilunga's down. What a fight! You won't see a better one this year. It's Ilunga who's down. They gotta go some more.
Ilunga's wobbling.
Fight of the year before your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. We still don't know who's gonna win. Is it gonna be Duke or Ilunga?
Just as you think Duke's out, he comes back.
And now Duke firing away. Ilunga wants more, but he can't take much more. An instant classic from Oberhausen. Power shot after power shot. Defense is not an option.
This is why that kickboxing is the best combat sport on the planet.
Stop! Fight! 3 rounds of hell, ladies and gentlemen. Neither man, I think, knows where they are. A left connects to Ilunga, and a right, and now Ilunga showing the Congo warrior side. Coming back again. Fight!
This is going to be one of the longest 40 seconds in these guys' career. Let's see what both of them have left.
Oh my God, how much more can they take? Both corners are probably thinking of throwing in the towel. 30 seconds to go. Fight! Both men will show their grandkids this fight. Look what Grandpa did. He used to be crazy. Oh my! A left and a right from Dude.
It looks like Dude has more power left in his hands.
Oh, and Ilunga connects. Stop! Have you ever seen something like this? They'll fight to the bell. They'll be forever linked in what we saw here tonight.
Wow, what a good ending to the Superfight series.
There are no losers.
Fight of the year, in my opinion.
Unbelievable, and I don't use that word lightly. Here are the highlights. Where do we begin, Joe?
I don't know, it was Ilunga finding early success with that right hand. And then there was that, it looked like a knee, but then it was back of the head that we were not sure. But here comes Stu with that counter left hook, follow right hand, and constantly throwing those straights and hooks. Down goes Ilunga.
How do Rico and Botter top this later tonight? You know they're going to try their damnedest after what Duke and Ilunga put on tonight. Who won this fight? Lord only knows. We'll find out when we return. Who won the fight of the year? Was it Daniel Ilunga? Was it Michael Dukes? We'll see you back here in a few from Oberhausen.
Order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision. Tonight, the countdown begins as Glory prepares for the most exciting night in its history. The 2 biggest names in kickboxing make their way to the ring. It's the fight everyone wanted, but nobody believed would happen. Rico Verhoeven, the undisputed heavyweight champion, faces his toughest challenge yet. Badr Hari is back. The king of kickboxing against the bad boy. Technique against sheer. Knockout, power, and Glory Collision brings you even more action with the final of the women's inaugural bantamweight tournament. Gigantic heavyweight Jamal Ben Sadiq takes on powerhouse Ismail Lance, and legendary welterweight champion Nicky Holtzkin aims to continue his phenomenal winning streak with a title defense against Cedric Doumbé. Glory Collision, Rico versus Badr, and the biggest kickboxing event of all time. Tonight, order now at UFC.tv/Glory Collision.
Glory kicks off the new year in epic style and brings the cream of kickboxing to the City of Angels with Glory Superfight Series Los Angeles. In the headline fight, the first ever title defense for new featherweight champion Robin van Roosmalen against contender tournament winner Matt Embry. Plus the deadly kicks of Giga Chikadze and an all-American face-off between Mike Lemaire and Warren Thompson. It's Glory Superfight Series Los Angeles, January 20th. Don't miss it.
We are back in Oberhausen, one of the best fights you will ever see in the light heavyweight division. Joe, take us through it.
It started off with Duke coming very aggressively in that fight, getting the first knockdown of the fight, but that did not slow Ilunga down. Ilunga came back at the end of the first round, landing some big punches himself. Then round 2, Ilunga seemed to be more of the pressure fight and landing the cleaner shots. But just as you think Duke was out, he comes back and scored some big knockdowns. That looked like it was the behind of the head shot, but back and forth exchanges. All the way from round 1 to round 3, both of these guys gave it their all. 2 knockdowns each. It's going to be a tough one to call.
Game recognizes game after that bout. Let's look at our final statistics, and boy, it was extremely close. There's our impact timeline.
Yeah, he's constantly, you can see one guy gets the advantage, and then it changes right away. It's constantly going back and forth, and this one is one tough fight to score.
Dare we ask for an extra round? Tim Hughes with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we once again go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals. 27-26, 27-26, 26-26, 28-28, and 28-28, a majority draw. But according to Glory rules, we go one more round.
Dreams do come true. The fight of the year does not have its ending yet. A round 4, ladies and gentlemen. Winner take all, Joe.
This is what makes kickboxing rules so exciting. When we have these extra rounds after a fight like this fight deserved it.
I just got chill bumps. And I've called probably 1,000 different fights in my life, be it WWE, boxing, MMA, and now kickboxing. What do we have in store for us here? Daniel Ilunga and Michael Duke. The legend continues. What do you tell your fighter here?
Yeah, they got to dig deep. Both of these corners need to find those extra rounds in training, that extra road work, the extra bag work. This is when all of that extra work comes into play.
It's time to find religion, perhaps. Good luck to both these warriors. Alistair Overeem in attendance. Sam Schilt, he's been in some extra round fights. Here we go. 13,000 on hand here in Oberhausen, Germany. One more round. You win this one, you win the fight.
Ready? Fight!
Ilunga white gloves, Duke black. 3 minutes.
Fight!
It's that dangerous right hand of Ilunga. But Duke with that beautiful counter left hook.
A right hand connects from Ilunga. A right of his own from Duke. And another right from Ilunga, a right from Duke.
Back and forth again, both exchanging right hands. Duke seems to be getting the better with his left hook, and Ilunga with those knees.
Stop!
How much do they have left here?
That left eye of Ilunga's bleeding and closed shut.
Sushi Inari wants to look at it or have the doctor look at it. They're not going to stop this fight.
Oh, you can't stop this fight now. Doesn't look like it's getting in the eye of Ilunga.
He's given too much to this fight. Don't take it away from him.
It's also giving both fighters a chance to conserve some energy and put some energy left in this last 4th and final round.
Let's see how that cut got opened up.
Fight!
And they're letting the fight continue. A right hand did it, and back to live action, and they have action for us right away. Ilunga swinging for the fences, and there's a knee to the solar plexus of Duke.
Stop! Those unorthodox knees by Ilunga are doing great job on the inside.
2 minutes to go. They're both exhausted. Both have been down.
Looked like a low blow.
Have you ever seen a fight quite like this, Joe?
No, this is definitely tops one of my favorite fights of all time.
I said dude has that kill or be killed mentality. We still don't know which one it's going to be here with 1:30 to go.
In kickboxing, you have the technicians, and then you have the fighters that like to get in there and brawl.
Olunga swinging wildly now. No balance left in his legs. Duke seems a bit fresher, perhaps.
Stop! Wait! Olunga's really trying to use those knees.
Oh, and a hook from Duke wobbles Olunga. How did he stay upright? And a 1-2 now from Duke. A minute to go.
Looked like Duke was trying to use a submission hold there.
He's tried everything else to put Olunga away. Nothing's worked.
But Olunga keeps walking forward, and he's still finding success with that right hand. But Duke just landed a right uppercut, left hook.
Then to the body, and they exchange hooks.
30 seconds left.
Everyone on the edge of their seats.
I still don't know who's winning this fight.
Oh, and a left from Duke. Olunga's taking some massive shots, but refuses to go down. To the body and back upstairs for Duke.
Is this a double extra round, Todd? I have no clue what to call here.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. That'll seal it. Michael Duke will win this fight. Will it be by decision or knockout? That's the only question.
6, 7, 8.
The bell will ring, and Michael Dukes outlasts Daniel Olunga in the fight of the year for 2016.
And it couldn't have finished any better way with a knockdown like that to seal the extra round for Michael Duke.
There he is, Michael Duke, the man's man. That's how you win a fight. Credit to Daniel Olunga, though, who had one of the best fights of his life, be it in a losing effort.
And Michael Duke is coming off of 3 losses, so this is the fight he needed to solidify his position in the light heavyweight division.
As we look back at the highlights, there are really too many to show you. We just have to basically replay the fight in its entirety.
Yeah, there's so many shots were landing, but it was ultimately the power punching of Michael Duke that was able to win him this fight.
Duke promised a knockout, but it took him, what, 12 minutes plus to get it done. After the bell, Olunga stood up, and that was it. Michael Duke, the Dream Crusher, with a marquee victory. It's a night he will never forget, and a night I don't think I'll ever forget.
This is actually Olunga's 4th straight glory loss, but in my opinion, this can't count as a loss in Olunga's career. He left it all on the line, and he put a good performance. Let's see more of these two.
I want to see a rematch, but let's wait a couple years before these guys get back in the ring again. I don't know if they can take it anymore. For the official particulars, here's Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an extra round, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 5 seemed about the same and score at 10-8 for your winner, Michael Duke.
What else can we say, Joe?
I don't know, but now they are officially one fight each, so it does need a 3rd fight.
That does it for now from Oberhausen, but coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, it is Glory Collision. Badr Hari versus Rico. Plenty of time now to get your order in. UFC TV/Glory Collision. Joe, quickly, your thoughts on what we'll see between Badr and Rico.
We're going to see, in my opinion, one of those two really cement their legacy in the heavyweight kickboxing division. Is it the new school of Rico Verhoeven, or is it Badr Hari cementing himself as the old school and new school all-time champion?
You just watched the fight of the year 2016. Michael Duke defeating Daniel Olunga for Ron Kruk and Whitney Miller, as well as Joseph Valtellini. I'm Todd Grisham. That'll do it for now from Oberhausen, Germany.